Ellie Raissi, Learning Experience Designer at IDEO, and I'm so glad you're here to explore design thinking with us. Now, you might not think of yourself as creative, but the truth is, everyone is creative. Design thinking is a process that helps unlock that creativity. It's a human-centered approach to problem solving that starts with understanding people's needs and ends with innovative, meaningful solutions. In this video, we'll take you through each phase of the design thinking process, from framing a question to sharing a story. Now, while we teach it as a linear step-by-step process, in reality, design thinking is a very iterative process. You might loop back, repeat phases, and refine ideas as you go. So, let's first get an overview of the phases of design thinking. You can think of them as guideposts that help you navigate the creative process. Frame a question. Identify the right problem to solve with a question that sparks creative solutions. Gather inspiration. Inspire new thinking by discovering what people really need. Synthesize for action. Make meaning out of diverse information to identify a strategic focus. Generate ideas. Push past obvious solutions to come up with breakthrough ideas. Make ideas tangible. Build rough prototypes of ideas to help you think and learn how to make them better. Test to learn. Refine your ideas by gathering feedback and experimenting your way forward. Share the story. Craft a human story to inspire others toward action. Each phase plays a unique role in helping you move through the process and practice the mindsets and methods that fuel creativity and innovation. Now, let's dive into the first phase, framing a question. Every great design solution starts with a great question. Before jumping to solutions, we need to define the challenge we're addressing. Take the example of the Polaroid instant camera. It was inspired by a simple question from a 4-year-old. Why do we have to wait for the picture? That question sparked an innovation that changed photography forever. To frame a strong question, start with curiosity. Use why questions to uncover root challenges, and later shift to what-if questions to encourage brainstorming. Finally, how might we questions help turn challenges into opportunities. These 3 words, how might we, begin to establish the mindset we need for design thinking. How suggests there is a solution out there and invites others to think creatively about it. Might frees us from judgment and encourages open exploration of possibilities. We intentionally don't ask how should we because that implies there's only one correct way to answer the question. And we signals that this is an inherently collaborative effort. The solution will come from working together, not alone. For example, if you were working to improve the patient experience in a hospital, you might ask, how might we ensure patients feel supported and informed during every step of their care journey? Here's a tip. Make sure your how might we question is broad enough to allow for creativity, but focused enough to inspire real solutions. Gather inspiration. Gathering inspiration is all about empathizing with people. Empathy is at the heart of design. It's our intuitive ability to identify and understand what other people see, feel, think, and experience, helping us move beyond assumptions we didn't even know we had. Immersing ourselves in empathy can help us appreciate another person's perspective, not just intellectually, but also emotionally. It helps us to begin to see the world differently and motivates us to design solutions that better serve people's needs. So, how do you go about being inspired by empathy? To design solutions that truly resonate, we need to get curious about and understand the people we're designing for and with. That means observing, listening, and stepping into their world. There are many ways to do this. Interviews, observations, surveys, immersive empathy exercises, even looking at analogous industries for fresh insights. For example, if you were designing a better hospital experience, you might start by observing the emotional journey of patients and their families. How do people feel as they navigate different spaces, waiting rooms, hallways, or patient rooms? What support systems could ease their stress? Then you might also look at how theme parks, for example, guide people through large spaces to make them feel at ease. Here's a tip. People don't always say what they mean, and they don't always do what they say. So, as you gather inspiration, look beyond words. Observe behaviors, emotions, and patterns. Synthesize for action. Once you've gathered your research, it's time to start making sense of it all. This phase is all about identifying themes, patterns, and key insights that will guide your design solution. Think of it like putting together a puzzle. You've collected all these interesting pieces, stories, observations, data. Now you need to find connections, see how they all fit together. What surprising themes keep coming up? What challenges are people facing again and again? One way to do this is by creating insight statements, clear, concise summaries of what you've learned. But an insight is not just an observation or a new fact. It's something that shifts your perspective, reveals an unmet need, or sparks a fresh way of thinking. It's kind of like an aha moment, a new way of interpreting information that makes you sit up and say, I never thought about it that way before. So, what makes a good insight? A really good insight has many qualities, but here are 3 that we like to focus on. First, a good insight should inform. Does it shed light on what people need and want? Second, it should inspire. Does it motivate you? Does it make you feel something that compels you to take action? And third, it should be memorable. Is it phrased in a way that sticks with you and is easy to share with others? For example, instead of saying, people find it hard to track their medication, you might say something like, people want medication management to feel effortless, not like another task on their to-do list. Notice how the second version not only highlights the challenge, but also hints at the emotional need behind it. It informs, inspires, and is easy to remember. Once you've distilled your insights, you can turn them into how might we questions to guide brainstorms and inspire ideas. For example, how might we make managing medication feel effortless and integrated into daily life? Generate ideas. Now the fun begins. It's time to brainstorm and generate as many ideas as possible. This phase is all about divergent thinking, going wide, suspending judgment, and embracing wild ideas. Here you want to aim for quantity over quality, coming up with lots of ideas quickly. Why? Because the best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of them. And the best way to have more ideas is to brainstorm with others. At IDEO, we believe in creative collaboration, tapping into the power of diverse perspectives, bringing together people with different backgrounds, experiences, and mindsets to surface ideas you might not have thought of on your own. Then you narrow down to the most promising concepts through convergent thinking, evaluating and choosing the ones that feel the most exciting, intriguing, impactful, resonant, or even risky. To get the most out of a brainstorm, keep these 7 rules in mind. 1. Defer judgment. There are no bad ideas at this stage. There's plenty of time to judge them later. 2. Encourage wild ideas. Similarly, no idea is too crazy at this stage. Sometimes it's the most bold, edgy, out there ideas that can lead to the most innovative solutions. 3. Build on the ideas of others. Think yes and instead of but. Collaboration can take ideas a lot further. 4. Stay focused on the topic. A clear focus keeps the energy directed toward meaningful and relevant solutions. 5. One conversation at a time. This ensures that every idea is heard and can inspire new thinking. 6. Go for quantity. Set an ambitious goal for the number of ideas and aim to surpass it. 7. Get visual. Sketching ideas can engage different parts of your brain and unlock new ways of thinking. We can't get to new places by only doing what's worked in the past. To come up with truly innovative ideas, you have to stretch beyond your comfort zone. That's why wild ideas are so important. They open the door to new possibilities. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes and write down as many ideas as possible for a problem that you care about. Really push yourself past the obvious. Make ideas tangible. Ideas come to life through prototyping. A prototype can be anything: a sketch, a storyboard, a cardboard model or mock-up, even a role-play exercise. The goal is to test and refine ideas quickly. The first version of your idea won't be the final one, and that's okay. Prototyping isn't about perfection, it's about learning. The faster you build something tangible, the sooner you can get feedback and improve. So, ask yourself, What do you want to learn? Start with your biggest questions, assumptions, risks, hunches, and hypotheses, and then find the simplest way to test them without having to build out your entire solution. For example, IDEO once prototyped a new medication service by setting up a fake kiosk in a mall. No real product yet, just a simulation to gauge reactions. We often say, spend a little to learn a lot. This prototype was low cost and low risk, but it helped test the desirability of the service before building anything real. Here's a tip. Build just enough to test your idea. What is the smallest version of your idea you could prototype? Don't overcomplicate it. Just make it real enough to learn from. Test to learn. Testing is about learning how real people interact with your ideas. It's not just about validating what works. It's about uncovering what doesn't work so you can improve. Design thinking brings together what is desirable from a human perspective with what is technologically feasible, economically viable, and ethically responsible. These four lenses form a framework that helps us evaluate ideas and opportunities for innovation. Let's take a closer look at each one. First, desirability. Does it speak to human needs? What is desirable for the people who will use or be impacted by what you design? Feasibility. Simply put, can you make it? What is feasible given the skills, technology, resources, and/or infrastructure you have? Next, viability. What's the model? What is viable given the business and economic context? And finally, responsibility. Could this cause harm? What are the responsible choices for both people and the planet? For example, if you're testing a solution like a medication management app, you might explore questions like, does the app make managing medication easier and less stressful? Can users easily update their medication list without issues? Will enough people find the app valuable to keep it sustainable long term? Or does the app keep patient data private and secure? Getting feedback from people you're designing for and with is essential. Keep an open mind. Sometimes the best insights come from unexpected places. And remember, keep iterating. Iteration is key to design thinking. Most great products and services don't emerge fully formed. They evolve through multiple cycles of prototyping, testing, and refining. Even once your idea is out in the world, it's never truly finished. There are always opportunities to improve. So, ask yourself, where can you push further? What are some ways your solution could be even just a little bit better? Share the story. The final phase is all about storytelling. A great idea needs a compelling story to bring it to life. Why does this matter? Because stories connect people to ideas. They help others understand why your solution is important and inspire them to take action. When sharing your story, focus on the challenge you set out to solve, the insights you uncovered, and the impact of your solution. At IDEO, we often say, if you want people to care, tell them a story. And there you have it, the design thinking process in a nutshell. Again, while we teach it as a series of steps, remember, in practice, it's fluid and iterative. You might jump back and forth between phases, spend more time on some phases over others, iterating and refining ideas as you go. By practicing design thinking, you can tackle complex challenges with confidence, unlock your creativity, and design solutions that truly make a difference. Now, it's your turn. What challenge will you tackle next?